Hi, I'm Brad Henry with Landell Controls and Shelley Automation, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use TestRun in the spreadsheet environment of Insight Explorer, and I'll use the same example that I used in my previous video where I showed you how to use TestRun in the Easy Builder view of Insight Explorer, and it's very similar, so I'm going to push through this, so please review that previous video for more information. So basically my job is detecting whether or not a spool is there. So I've got some pictures of spools there, pictures of it not there, and I'm using a histogram tool and taking the average of that histogram to determine whether or not it's there. And this is the same as the brightness tool. This is actually what the brightness tool is doing behind the scenes. Now, if the average brightness falls between acceptable minimum and acceptable maximum values, it's recorded as a tool pass. And if all the tools pass, the job passes. So that's how it works. Let's get into TestRun. So go to Configure. Now, it's mostly the same, but you have these two top headers here, these two sections. And that's because in Easy Builder view, everything is done automatically for you. This is hidden, but since we're doing it manually, we need to set everything manually, and this is the main difference. So job pass fail, this is selecting the cell you want to use. So you select the cell, so I'm using H3 here, and setting the condition. So if it's 0, it fails. If it's 1, it passes. Oh, pretty simple. You can also choose not to use it. Now let's move on to symbolic tags. And symbolic tags you can think of as a cell with a name. It's a cell that you want to see the results of, or it's a cell that you want to modify as part of your test. And you can go to add and add whatever you want. Give it a name that you can easily remember, make your life easier. So let me just delete that. So I've added the two parameters that I want to modify for this test, the acceptable min and the acceptable maximum. And I'm using the edit float function because I want to modify them. And anything that TestRun modifies has to be from an acceptable symbolic tag function. So that's this list here. So both of them are there. Now, spool present is not one of these functions, but I don't need to modify it. I just need to view the results. So I can pull that in and it's good. Image database folder and variant configuration are the same. When you get down to job, into setup actions, the symbols here are populated from the symbolic tags that you specified here. You'll notice that spool present is not there because it's not one of these symbolic tag functions. And you can set it however you want. I'm just going to keep them like this right now just to see where I'm at. Limit tests are the same. Image selection is the same. Mark images as good if they're good. Bad images as bad. Defects are the same. So this job passes, so it's not a fail. The spool is present, and it's present when spool present, so this here is true, and it's currently false. So yeah, it should be there. And I just keep going through and specifying this ground truth to compare everything else against. So the job's supposed to pass, so it's not supposed to fail, so I don't click that. And there's a spool present, yes. There's a spool present, I click that. Spool is not present, so I don't click it, but the job fails, I select that. Hardware tests and cleanup actions are the same. So I set everything up, so let's close that and run through it. Now, I've got the red square. Now the red square means that I got a result that wasn't what I expected. That's different from the ground truth that I specified here. So let's take a look at it. Setup went well. Job limits are within limits. These first two images, something's off with them. So the spool present should have occurred, but it didn't. We have this red square here. I'm going to suspect it's the same with this one. Okay, so let's modify our parameters. Let's make it a little wider and see what that does. Let's go to Job, Setup Actions, set the minimum, say 30. Yeah, just make it a little wider. And run through it again. Okay, we got the red square, so let's go back, take a look at what happened. Okay, so these first two images, they're okay. We have sorted it out. But this last one, something happened. So it was supposed to fail, but it passed. And it says there's a spool there. There's not supposed to be a spool there. So we get these two red squares. So let's go back. Try some different parameters. Try some different parameters. So let's set our max a little lower. See what happens. And run through it. It's green. So that means that everything that we expected to happen happened. So all of our image passed, and these values here are suitable for every test that we do, everything that we've tested for. So that's it. That's how to use TestRun, and hope you enjoy this video.